What does it mean to achieve greatness? Is it even possible to achieve said greatness? Or are some men just born great? Is it given? Or is it taken? By this man's standards, greatness can only be described in one way. It is something broken. The man who became a demon. The man who will become the world's best. That man's name is Zoro. Zoro means something to me, not just in the way that he's my favorite, or even a way that he makes me want to become stronger. When I look at Zoro, I see something I want to be. I see everything that I am not. I have always related to Luffy the most, as someone who has flowed through life depending on my above average skills to easily accomplish any goal. To an extent, somewhere between Zoro and Oda himself, I find something, a reflection of myself. Zoro isn't just a man hell-bent on success. He defines what it means to be human. Let me tell you the legend of Zoro, the man who overcame his limitations. We all understand who Zoro is. We see that clear progression from a kid with something to prove to the man who has grabbed a hold of his own destiny. To understand Zoro's progression as a character, we must come to understand his trigger points. Like any man going through life, there'll be a couple points that will set you on a new path. After going through a few of these, you will end up in a place completely different from where you started. For Zoro, these trigger points are as follows. Having a rival better than him, a desire to be the best in the world, the need to live his life for two people instead of one, his overwhelming loss to someone far above him, and the understanding that he must protect that which is precious. These are the core moments that have made Zoro into the man that he has become. With each of these also comes a decisive decision. When something drastic happens that changes how you perceive the world, that leaves a person with only two options. Either they can run from that change, or they can kill the man who was alive before and replace them with someone new. This is the cycle of improvement, and this is what Zoro as a character embodies. For how great Zoro becomes, he had the same start point as any other kid. He went around just trying to have fun doing whatever he pleases. However, that lifestyle comes to a head when the reality of the world catches up to him. This awakening, or transition from childhood to adulthood, stems from and is embodied by Kuina. She shows Zoro that the world is a bigger place than he had imagined, and provides him a challenge to overcome it. That obviously isn't the only thing that Kuina represents. Her story also brings to the forefront the idea that the world is an unfair place. She highlights that as the two grow up, things are going to get more complicated. That the rivalry can't last, and that things won't be as simple as they are now. And of course, this final trigger point is set into full effect. Kuina tragically dies unexpectedly. At this point, two things have been set into place. Zoro's short-term goal of getting stronger has turned into a long-term goal of becoming the strongest. Zoro has also been shown clearly that the world is a harsh place, and that if he wants to survive, he'll have to become far stronger. These were the first trigger points for Zoro. These push Zoro into becoming a great man. However, we will soon see, simply becoming a man isn't enough to be the best. As Zoro travels the world, we're shown a lot about him. He's one to do the right thing even if it hurts himself in the long run. He likes people who are earnest in their desires. Finally, it becomes clear that he will strike down someone who goes back on their promise, intentionally or otherwise. His relationship with Luffy and the building of the Straw Hat crew also manages to inform his character, both in his characterization and development. Even if he doesn't have any great attachment to any given crew member from the get-go like Luffy does, through seeing them all earnestly work towards their dreams, he begins to respect them. More than that, it would seem once Zoro has acknowledged someone, Zoro will personally take on that person's dream with them, treating that person's dream with the same importance as his own. He goes as far as offering his own life and limb on multiple occasions, just to allow his friends a chance at continuing to chase their dream. Truly, there is no greater person to have at your side than Zoro. For these reasons alone, this shows that Zoro makes for the perfect second in command. There certainly is more to it than that. Simply stepping up isn't enough to be the Pirate King's right hand. More than guts, you need grit. And grit is where Zoro goes beyond all conventional limitations. A dedication to work day in and day out. The ability to face against your own limitations on a daily basis and come out on top. To face off against a man's greatest holdback, themselves. That's where Zoro's true greatness lies. Conquering weakness, breaking convention, and pushing beyond yourself. This is what Zoro does every day, because he knows what he's working for, and he knows what it will take to accomplish it. Becoming the best in the world means leaving your humanity behind, and either ascending to godhood or awakening a demon whose terror is unmatched. Because the thing which waits for you at the top is something beyond what a mere human could understand. For Zoro, that thing is Mihawk. Mihawk triggered something in Zoro, a goal given form, a nightmare given life. Such a devastating chasm appeared between Zoro and his goal, something nearly incomprehensible even for this vast world. The difference between where Zoro is and where he thought he would be was made painfully clear, and Zoro wouldn't have it any other way. Insurmountable odds, an unbeatable swordsman, something no regular person could ever do. This all adds to the excitement of the challenge, something to sink his teeth into, something where even if he goes all out, it still might not be enough. A goal he can aim at with everything he has. However, this moment causes one very important thing. Zoro's goal of being the #1 swordsman now has been usurped by the goal of defeating Mihawk. It's shifted, and that shift might not seem like a lot, but it is a vitally important shift. It does two things for Zoro's character. One, it shows that his ironclad main goal can actually be succeeded by something else, under the right circumstances. Second, it nearly shatters Zoro's relationship with the past. Zoro, from the time when we first met him, is locked into the ideals of his past self, chasing a dream he had years ago, and going about chasing them in one specific way. However, after meeting Luffy and losing to Mihawk, he has shown that the path to greatness isn't just a singular road, but rather it's something you carve out for yourself. This is when Zoro decides to push out all preconceived notions of the world, and declares what his new path will be. A completely insane declaration, one that no man could ever do. A goal that forces Zoro to go beyond the realm of a man, into the realm of a legend. The only person who could truly be undefeated is the greatest swordsman in the world. To Zoro, this is a reframing of his goal. If I want to be the best, I have to treat every fight like it's a battle for the title of the world's greatest. And as incomprehensible as this concept is, as unbelievable of an idea that it may be, he does it. Every fight, every day, every obstacle, Zoro faces with everything he has, as if each one was a fight for the title of #1. That's because, in the grand scheme of things, they are. Zoro understands that it's not just about one big play, it's about all the small decisions you make along the way. Every day you wake up and work hard, you take a step forward. Every day you don't, you take a step back. And well, for a man like Zoro, he wouldn't dare step back, even if it means death. That's not where his newfound dedication ends though. Resulting from this encounter, Zoro also makes one other massive decision. That can be seen in his fight with Hachan. Zoro, looking back on his battle of Mihawk and facing these inhuman opponents, makes a decision. He decides to throw away his own humanity, because in order to defeat a monster, you have to become a demon. From this point on, Zoro marches forward, facing the new challenges ahead of him, together with his crew. Over this time, something starts formulating inside of Zoro, a feeling that he can't quite put into words at first. However, as he spends more time with his friends, it begins to become clear. Zoro realizes that what he truly wants, more than anything else in the world, is to protect what's precious to him. This comes out in various different ways, whether it's him cutting his own legs off to beat his opponent, or stepping up into a leadership role when the crew needs him. Zoro has begun to believe that his crew is something precious, and is worth protecting, potentially even over his own dreams. This concept continues to evolve in two ways. First, with his fight with Mr. 1, here Zoro faces a new danger to himself and his crew, though he has already been armed with the words necessary in order to overcome it. The ability to cut anything, and also cut nothing. Zoro, over the course of this fight, must come to understand not just these words, but the practical implementation of them into his life. How can Zoro learn to cut steel? The answer is simple. He learns that his sword is there to protect the things important to him, and cut down those things that stand in their way. This is shown externally by Zoro slicing a leaf without being cut, and him slashing a rock in half as if it were nothing. Zoro realizes that his blade is more than just a way of life. It's something that can also protect others' way of life, his crew's way of life. In understanding this, he takes one step closer to being the best, and also takes one step closer to his crewmates. At Eni's lobby, this is when everything culminates together. Zoro has an understanding of himself, his goal, and his crew. Taking everything he has gained over this journey, it comes together into one final form. This is where Zoro ascends from a man into a true legend, from a human into a demon, breaking away from previous limitations and ascending to new heights. The higher you go though, the harder you crash back down. The impact of Zoro's decision against Kuma changes everything. To sacrifice one's dream for the sake of another's, this act goes beyond what words could possibly capture. The ultimate sacrifice for the person and the people who mean the most to you, more than even your own dream. To dream is to live, but to dream at the cost of your friends is no life anyone would want. That's why Zoro makes this decision, because to him, it's no longer worth getting to the top if his friends aren't there for it. What does a man say after doing such a thing? Well, obviously, since it was no big deal to make such a sacrifice like this, he says, nothing happened at all. This sacrifice of his life is what allows Zoro to eventually peel away the other layers of himself, tearing away what he had made and remaking himself once again. This is shown through Zoro sacrificing his pride in order to get Mihawk to train him. He's showing more than a willingness to throw out his pride in this action. He is showing that he is willing to throw anything out if it means he can protect what's precious to him. Zoro is truly an incredible man. I don't even know how to state it enough, that he is someone anyone would respect and admire. That includes me. For the longest time, I had wanted to be like Zoro, to live life in a similar manner as he does, all in order to get stronger. I learned something doing this. That is, that I can't live someone else's life to get stronger. As Zoro realized he was on the wrong path to become the world's best swordsman, I realized I was on the wrong path to become the world's best writer. I came to understand the differences between me and him, and also came to realize something more important. Now when I look at Zoro, I don't want to be him. Instead, he makes me want to be the best version of myself I can be. Hey, hope you enjoyed the video. Liking it would go a long way with showing your support. However, after it being brought up in the script, I would be remiss if not to mention my writing. Right now I have 3 novel series out and also some manga I've written which you can check out. Buying a book or checking out some of my manga would really help support me as a writer, and as a recommendation I would say check out either my Battle Shonen novel series Wizard's Path or Shonen Manga One Shot Creators. More One Piece videos to come, so subscribe for those. Bye everybody.